Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. I just want to touch on a couple of points tonight that seem to have sort of drifted out of the media. Nobody's talking about them anymore. What's going on in Luton in the airport? Nobody's reporting anything. It's gone very, very quiet, the Luton airport fire story. Are people getting access to their cars? Because there's cars there that weren't damaged. Are they getting them back? Are they being written off? Nobody's saying anything. It's gone really, really quiet on with the media. It's really strange how they're just not reporting on it. Same with the Inchcape floods, where that Jaguar Land Rover dealer was flooded. That's not being spoken about in the media at the moment. Nothing's being said about that. Because the last anybody heard was the owners of the vehicles that were involved weren't being given access to their vehicles to even collect personal belongings. Another story is just, there's no updates on it, none whatsoever that I can find. And now we've got the story with the post office. That seems to be what everybody's concentrating on. It's like it's a diversionary tactic away from everything else that's going on in the world. Let's just concentrate on this one big story. It's all about the post office at the moment. Well, let's have a little chat about the beloved 20-mile-an-hour speed limits in Wales, because that was done on safety grounds, but we know it's not being done on safety grounds. It's a money-grabbing exercise to get us out of our cars, to make the roads so unappealing that we use public transport. Well, that one's now biting the Welsh government on their arses, because the local bus companies, or the one that runs in North Wales, which is Arriva. You've all come across Arriva buses, one of the biggest bus companies in the country. They said a couple of weeks into the 20 limit when it was set, they'd give it some time and then they would reassess all the timetables. Well, they've finally reassessed all the timetables and they've rescheduled every single bus. Some of the routes have totally changed and the buses are no longer going to places. In the village I live in, we used to have 3 routes go through the village. We used to have a 13 which runs Llandudno to Prestatyn, then we had a 14 and a 15, one runs Llandudno to Llysfaen and back, and the other one runs Conway, Llysfaen and back, and they used to run on a half-hour schedule, but the buses were always staggered, so you could pretty much guarantee to get a bus, depending where you're going, either in a 10-minute segment or a 20-minute segment. So there was always a good bus network. Well, that's now out the window. That's totally changed. The 13, which is the one that runs through the village and goes to Prestatyn, also goes past Ysbyty Glan Clwyd, the hospital. Well, they're only running 5 services now a day through the village. The 13 still exists, but they're only keeping it on the coast. So we get a 7:30, we get, I think, a 5:45, a 7:30, a 9:15, and I think we get a 20 to 11 in the evening. That's all that's coming up. We're getting 5 buses now on the 13 route. So anybody who wants to get to the hospital out of the village is now having to catch either a 14 or a 15, which they're having to wait now. They're having to wait an hour for it because they're running them staggered on an hour network to get to Old Colwyn to then pick up a connection on a 13. So the bus service has now rapidly deteriorated from a 10 to 20 minute wait to a 1 hour wait, and nowhere near as many buses as we were getting. So a lot more people now are not going to be using the bus network because it's now totally inconvenient for a lot of people to use it, or if they do have to use it, their entire daily schedule has to be changed. And it's going to take a little while for these new schedules to settle themselves down and people to get used to the new bus timetable, so it's going to cause a lot of disruption. It's the 20 mile an hour speed limit doesn't work. You know, take now for example. It's 8:15 in the evening. There's hardly any traffic on the road, and 20 mile an hour now through here would be a totally stupid thing for me to be doing. What I'm doing now is perfectly safe. I'm driving to the conditions. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing now. It's totally safe. If it was any busier and there was more traffic on the road, I'd be driving slower. But it's, at this moment in the evening, it's safe to go a little bit quicker. I've got Waze running in the background, so if there is any Arrive Alive or whatever they call them now, Go Safe or whatever they call the camera vans now, because the camera vans in North Wales and probably everywhere in Wales now, they are actually now run by a private company that's funded by all the Welsh authorities and councils and funded by the Welsh government. Now when they do come out, which I suspect is going to be very soon, because they just haven't been much of a presence on the road lately up in North Wales. You hardly see them anywhere. I suspect all they're interested in now, being as they're now a private company, is catching as many of us out as possible. Because now it's all about profits for a private entity. It's not about education, it's got nothing to do with the speed limit. It's about making lots and lots of money in fines and sending more and more people to speed awareness courses. Imagine how embarrassing it would be if you're caught doing 26 miles an hour in the 20 zone and you lose your license. It's absolutely absurd. The entire setup is absurd. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention them couple of points in tonight's little video and get some of your thoughts on what I've just mentioned in the video. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Have a think about what I've said. Put your thoughts in the comments. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and thanks for spending the time to listen and watch the video. Once again, out in the car, thank you very much. And enjoy your evening.